I really like Fantom. I like Fantom for speculating, for riding those waves, because Fantom is very volatile. Look at this. This is Fantom relative to Ethereum. Now, why relative to Ethereum and why not simply just the US dollar chart? Because there is a lot of correlation within crypto, right? Whenever Bitcoin is going up or whenever Ethereum is going up, then the altcoins are going up as well. So you want to be looking at altcoin performance in isolation, or the idiosyncratic movements of an altcoin. And for that, you need to see the outperformance. Otherwise, if you simply just want crypto exposure, you can just buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? But the reason to buy altcoins is to get this outperformance. You take on more risk, you should get more return in the end. Now, when we look at Fantom, we could look at this relative to Bitcoin or relative to Ethereum. In general, I prefer the relative valuation chart to Ethereum because it's more comparable, right? It's both layer 1 smart contract platforms. So it's kind of like working in the same area within crypto. And thus you also have more correlation in terms of the price movements. So there's more similarities between Ethereum's ups and downs and Fantom's ups and downs. Now let's look at this. Let's look at Fantom relative to Ethereum over a longer time frame. We can see that the crashes, they tend to be relatively similar in magnitude, right? So here we've got a crash, here we've got a crash. This is where this initially comes from. A similar crash. Then we overlay this here. This is always a crash relative to ETH of more than 80%, 85 to 90%. Now, when does Fantom become interesting again? I think it becomes interesting again once we see similar support lines hitting again. Now, currently the momentum isn't too pretty, right? Currently, there is a downside risk of 40% roughly and an upside potential of maybe 66%. So things aren't looking too great just yet, but that's also because the general altcoin market is having a pretty hard time. There is a measure called Total 3. Total 3 looks at all of cryptocurrencies' market cap except Bitcoins and Ethereums. So we can look at how much is all of crypto worth if we take away Bitcoin and Ethereum, and how much of the entire crypto industry is in everything but Bitcoin and Ethereum. So when you look at this, Total 3 divided by total being all of crypto, we can see that currently 32% of all of crypto is not Bitcoin or Ethereum. And this tends to trend downwards. So even in the sideways trading range, this tends to get worse and worse. So the altcoins become less and less important as a total fraction of crypto, which is not so great, which is an explanation also why the riskier altcoins tend to lose even against Ethereum. Now, what about other layer 1 competitors? Fantom relative to Polygon Matic is somewhat okay. It's gaining because Polygon Matic has really a pretty hard time right now. Fantom relative to Solana does not look that great, and Solana did take quite a bit of a beating. Fantom relative to Algorand also looks pretty expensive. So what does this all tell us? It tells us that right now, in general, betting on altcoins is risky. Right now, betting on Fantom, in my opinion, is also still too early. But there will be a time again when it does make sense. And when we can catch these waves, then we can get an outperformance versus Ethereum of 150%. These kinds of waves are normally not that pronounced for other altcoins. But for Fantom, they definitely are. There is a lot of inherent leverage in FTM. I'm mainly currently betting on underperformances of various altcoins relative to Bitcoin. This is how I currently generate my alpha. I do have a few very hand-selected altcoins that are still trade, but Fantom is not one of them at the moment. There is something interesting happening currently with the relative valuation of Dogecoin. That's upcoming in the next video. So feel free to check that out. That's over here. Thanks for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye bye.